I want to say good morning, but it's 12:45 Central Time, so it ain't morning no more. It feels like morning because I just got up about an hour ago. Um, Hope everybody had a great weekend. Thank y'all so much for jumping on. Uh, Yay, week number three. This is my third week. Now, you know they claim anything you do for more than 3 weeks is a habit. This still don't feel like no habit. But hey, Tanisha. Uh, I hadn't got on polo this morning. Like I said, I just woke up not long ago, so um, I hit up Tanisha and Stephanie. That's my good time clip on Marco Polo, and we talk about the day. So I hadn't had a chance to get on there or leave any messages on there. Today is the first day of spring break for 92. So we didn't have to. Well, we did kind of have to get up early this morning. I didn't realize this week was gonna be the week of spring break. So I scheduled her 2 appointments, and usually, like when she has appointments, I try to either get first thing in the morning so she don't, or last thing they got available in the evening, so she don't have to miss too much school. So I had her scheduled for a 9 o'clock appointment this morning and an 8 o'clock appointment Wednesday morning. I'm like, man, I wish I had known this was spring break. It's just like she don't want to get up. I don't want to get up either. But it just so happened the clock had just went off at 10 minutes to 8. And I had called her name, but I hadn't gotten up and to go wake her up yet. And then I get a text message. Can we reschedule your appointment today? I'm like, yes, we can definitely reschedule because I didn't want to get up. So yeah, I went right on back to sleep. And she went none the wiser because she never woke up when I called her name the first time. But we had a pretty decent weekend. We got out Saturday. Um, my sorority had a youth symposium, and I was going to that, and I had told her she was going with me. Then when it was time to get up and go because it was so early, she was like, "Do I have to go? Can I stay and sleep in?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, I guess you can stay home." Then I thought about it. How the hell you gonna show up to a youth symposium without your own youth? I was like, "Nah, you got to come. Get on up and let's get on, get on up the road." But it turned out to be a good thing because when we walked in, they were talking about guess what? Self-esteem. And I thought that was a great conversation to walk in on. Um, they did a lot of little games and stuff where they had this one thing where they asked everybody, and it was a pretty good turnout too. They asked everyone in the room to raise their hand if they felt like they were just like everybody else, and then raise your hand if you feel like you were different from everybody else. So everybody pretty much feel like they different from everybody else, right? So um, she said, "Well, okay, we're gonna do an activity." So she had everybody stand up in a line, and like while you were standing in the line, she started asking questions. And the whole point of it was to let people see just how much in common they do have with other people. Because the first thing she said is like, if you were born in the state we're in, you know, if you were not born in the state that we're in, change sides. So, they had to step over to the right. So it was quite a few that did that. Then she asked, who all plays a musical instrument? Who all likes to sing? Um, who all has ever been out of the country? Stuff like that. So it was a good visual to let you see just how many people were moving across the line. One thing everybody agreed on, they asked, do you prefer the beach or the mountains? Nobody moved for mountains, and the line stayed with the beach. So I was like, okay, that's one thing everybody agree on. I don't really care for cold weather, and when I think mountains, I think cold weather, but I do like the scenery. I know when I was living in South Carolina, I had a job assignment in Tennessee, so it took me through the Smokies, and I don't know if it was it fall. It may have been fall. All I know is um it was such a beautiful experience driving through the Smoky Mountains and seeing all those trees. It must have been it was either fall or spring because the leaves and stuff were definitely changing colors. I couldn't focus on the road but trying to look at the scenery. I even pulled up my phone and was recording. So, I just thought it was so beautiful. So I like the mountains, but if you give me a choice, I'm 110% gonna take the beach, even though I'm not really that beach bum type. When I go to the beach, I like to go outside. I don't want to go out in the middle of the day when it's super hot. I want it to be a nice breeze coming over the water, and I go out there and fall asleep if I need to. That's the kind of beaching I prefer. Let me see. Oh, hey, Vanessa. Vanessa said, I'm late, but I'm here. Thank you for tuning in, Vanessa. Um, I was just telling them about the weekend. It was pretty slow motion. Now, I did have, I had a clown this weekend. I'm the type of person, I am not very, it takes a lot to, like, rattle me or make me go off. Because I'm real, like, mellow and laid back. But there is one thing that will tip the scale and have me around here like David Bellum on The Incredible Hulk. Do not, under any circumstances, disrespect me or my family. So this is what had happened. I done went to Burger King. We going through the drive-through. We placed our order. Drive-through staff was nice and everything. So we get our food and we pull off, and immediately we can smell an aroma coming from the bag that just wasn't smelling right. So something smelled burnt. So Nadia went through the bag. She said, I think it's a fry. She was like, it's definitely the fry. And the fries didn't look appealing or anything. They had, like, you could tell they had been fried in some old grease. That's exactly what it smelled like. Like, they weren't burnt, like you could physically see burnt, but they had fried them in some old grease. And it was a loud smell, nothing that make you want to dive in and eat your fries, right? So, I'm like, I'm not gonna get back in that drive-through line. We pulled around and I went inside the store. So I walked in and there's a couple people in line, but they were actually just waiting on their orders. So little girl's up front and she's like, may I help you? And I'm like, yeah, I just went through the drive-through. And the fries that we got, I said, you can take a look at them and smell them. I was hoping to get some fresh fries because we don't want to eat these. So she took the bag, put it up to her nose. She was like, okay, I see what you mean. So she goes back and tells them, I'm assuming she was the manager, but she's back in the area where the fries are being dropped. And I can see her from the front. So, she tells her the customer wants to get more fries because they weren't happy with these. So I hear this little helper say, well, just give our money back because we ain't gonna change the grease right now. This, that, and the other. You see that right there, right? Yeah. So I ain't say nothing. Then she's telling this other guy, I don't know if she's supposed to be training him to be a manager or whatever, but she's walking around the front showing him how to give somebody their money back. And while she's walking, she started talking about my front order and how, ain't nobody got time for this, that, and the other, like I'm bothering her. So I'm really getting upset. So when she passed by, I said, well, I'm sorry to inconvenience you. I'm only the customer. I only spent my money for to get this. I ain't gonna say what I said. But I'm like, to go to the drive-through and get lunch for me and my daughter cost me $21 for what we ordered. And all we got was, I got a Whopper combo. She wanted chicken fries, regular fries, and a burger. She didn't even get nothing to drink. 21 freaking dollars. So for $21, I expect to get a bag and my stuff don't smell like it's been burnt. So, she turns around, yeah, Vanessa, she gonna tell, I don't know who trained her, but apparently they didn't do a good job because she needed to be retrained. um so she turns around and tells me, ma'am, I wasn't talking to you. I said, but you talking about me. You talking about my order, my money that I spent. She said, yeah, but I wasn't talking to you. I said, well, you being rude is what you're doing. And I was like, you know, I didn't have to come in and spend money with y'all. And you making it seem like I'm inconveniencing you because I'm asking you to make me some food that I can eat that's edible. And she was like, well, did you want to wait 15 minutes for me to change? Oh, I said, you didn't even give me that option. And so she was like, do you want your money back or not? When I tell y'all, I felt my fist feeling like it was gonna reach across that counter and grab that and slang her. I should do not disturb. Let me do that real quick. But yeah, honey, before I knew it, okay, I'm sorry, that phone call messed me up and knocked me completely out. I usually put it on do not disturb, so it won't do that, but I didn't do it today. But anyway, yeah, right, Vanessa. She knew that damn grief was over but it was her attitude. I can't don't get smart with me and don't treat me like shit if I'm spending my money with you because I work hard for that little taste of change. And that's how you get paid, you know. So I was like getting madder and madder every time she said something. And she gonna turn around and tell me, I wasn't being rude. I said it's not up to you to decide whether or not you was being rude. I'm the customer. It's my perception of how you spoke to me. So whether your intent was to be rude or not, your ass was rude. So, it was another, I take it, she's known for this because a couple of, how the employees get, and I wasn't getting super loud with her. I could have really got loud, but I don't like to do that. But one of the girls that was standing behind her was like, so I'm like, she must show her ass quite often in here because they was glad to see her. And then this was the funny part. I didn't catch it until I got ready to leave. But when she passed by, one of the girls said, "Thank you, Miss Bridget," or Miss Brittany, or whatever she said. She was making sure I got her name because I had already told her. I said, "That's all right. I'm gonna call corporate because you're not gonna be talking to me like this." So then she couldn't even soften it up. She tried. She was like, "Well, ma'am, I'm sorry if you thought I was being rude. I was not being rude." And she was like, and then she gonna go on to tell the guy. So this is what we do. You go in, give her money back. And when you have people like this that's gonna call and complain, what you need to do is write their name down. And then she asked me, what did I order? And I'm looking at her like, so I told her what I ordered. And she was like, so if you want to come back through today and get 2 or 3 orders of fries later, we'll do that. And she said, take this and put it in the office. I said, I ain't never coming back here no more. Never ever. I ain't never been so insulted because the thing was, she didn't show any type of remorse, any type of compassion, and you are in charge. So yeah, I was when I couldn't get home fast enough, I got found there because I told them she didn't give me her name, she didn't tell me anything. So when I got ready to leave, I asked them, I said, give me one of my old receipts on the counter so I can get y'all store number and y'all corporate information. And yeah, when I got back here, I didn't do it Saturday, but yesterday, and I need to check and see if they responded yet. Because if they didn't, I will be making a phone call because it was a 1-800 number on there. You don't just treat me like no crap now. That's the thing. I'm very respectful. I don't never come at nobody the wrong way. And if I do, I have no problem apologizing. I don't see nothing yet from Burger King, so yeah. Have to check my email. Hold on. Nah. But yeah, I'm gonna reach out to him because yeah, I work too hard for my money for you to be treating me like shit when I come through. We that's what we not gonna do. So yeah, Tanisha, the audacity, and I'm spending money with you. So yeah, that bring out that David Banner when somebody crossed that line, and it's so quick. And you know how you get thrown into that emotion so quick, you don't have time to not be that way. That's exactly how I am. Because I was telling Tanisha and Stephanie about this other incident I had. And this also, I guess, disrespect with me is if you disrespect me with my family and my money. because usually money involved in there somewhere. So I have a money market account. Since doing this my home based business, I learned that it's better to keep your money in a money market account. Even your liquid money, like money you need to get to quickly, is better than a savings or a checking account because you can get a better rate of return when you do a money market account. So I set up a money market account with Primerica where I have them to put a certain amount every couple of weeks into the account. And like if I need to get money out, I can go in. But what I like about it is I can't get it the same day. It's gonna take, a couple of days for it to process. So that keeps me from making any major purchases that are like, on a whim. And I can be bad about that. I'm not a big shopper, but I'm the type of person, if I see something I want it, I'm gonna get it if I really, really, if it really grabs me. But sometimes that don't always mean you should get it. So it's good that I had a grace period so I can like think, and I knew you really need it. So I keep my money in there. So I had transferred some money. I had transferred $1,000 out of there. Well, my intention was to transfer $1,000 out of that account into my to a checking account so I could access the money. Well, some kind of way it was a big mix up, and I called and I'm trying to find out. My main focus was, where is my money? Because the bank that I used said that they didn't have it, or it had been, recouped or whatever. And Primerica said that they didn't have it. I said, well, I got $1,000 floating out there somewhere, and I'm gonna need y'all to find it. And at this point, I'm still being nice. It wasn't until I got a hold of a customer service person that talked to me like this Burger King lady talked to me, and then I just lost it. I just, don't talk to me like that. I was hollering at this woman, and she did the same thing. She gonna tell me, I never have any complaints about my customer service. I said, well, you got one today, because the way you talking to me, I know you're not gonna yell at me. And then the helper had the nerve to hang up on me. That was the straw that broke the camel back. I was so happy with them folks. So of course, I called them back, made a complaint. When I felt like I didn't get far enough with that, I went on Facebook to their official Facebook page and put a comment about how terrible their customer service is. And based on my experience, and you best believe somebody hit me up in the instant messenger like within 15 minutes and was like, can you give us your contact information so we can find out what's going on? I'm like, because I don't be trying to get nobody fired or nothing like that, but you're just not gonna talk to me any kind of way, especially if I don't talk to you like that. Now, if I started it with you and you fire back at me, I had it coming, so I'm gonna eat that. But if I was being who I should be and how I should behave, and you just coming out of bag on me, it's going down. And I've never been one to like just explode on people. But the older I get, I be feeling like I got less to lose. And I'm just like, yeah, don't take me there. So, that part of the weekend I didn't really care for. But other than that, me and my girl hung out. We watched some movies and stuff. We watched Wizard of Oz. It's one of my favorites. Because when I was growing up, me and my mom, it would come on every year on, I think, CBS. And my mom would always pop popcorn. This was before microwave, so she would pop it in the skillet, and we would be ready. It always came on Friday night, and we watched it with just me and her. My brothers never really were interested in it, so it was just a me and her thing. So I had never watched it with Naya. They had to watch it in school for English class, but she and I hadn't watched it together. So we watched that, and then because she's into the singing and stuff, I was trying to think of movies that she might like that. So there's another Jack Black movie called School of Rock that I really like. So she had never seen that, and we watched it, and she enjoyed that. So that was a good thing. Um, oh, had nobody asked me about my pumps today. Y'all know y'all supposed to question me, keep me on my toes. I guess y'all don't care whether my heart get better or not. I'm on my own, huh? Well, I have been remembering. I even pumped it over the weekend. So let me get my 5 sprays in. This is the Twist the Mist It's called xanthan mist, and it's a mangosteen extract. It's supposed to be really, really good for your cardiovascular health. I also have a CTFO, which means changing the future outcomes. That's another company that I am a independent contractor for. So I'm selling CBD products. This one is a CBD. This one is, like I said, it's like a natural product from the mangosteen plant. But I do also do, and I'm showing y'all this one. And let me tell y'all, honey, I've been putting this, and this is like a hemp oil, but it is for joint and muscle pain. It's 500 milligrams. Comes in this little doohickey here, and it's a roll-on. You roll it on wherever your pain spot is. Very thin, nice light. It's like a how stuff will have not so much a peppermint, but a eucalyptus maybe. Like it's got a nice smell to it. It ain't like you got to be worried about folks out there sniffing to my smell being gay. It ain't like that. But honey, when we got ready to go to the meeting, to the youth symposium, and I said, let me stop and get me a drink. The way I bounced up out my truck, like I was 25 years old. Usually I'm sliding out and getting out, walking. Got a little Fred sample going on because I'm still. But I had to pat my own self on the back. The way I bounced up out that truck and walked in this store Saturday in the morning, I was like, I like this. Wasn't nothing hurt. Because, I have a lot of extra padding. So I tend to have knee pain. And I think from what I've been talking to people who actually went and got it diagnosed, they're calling it plantar. No, is it plantar fasciitis? Whatever it is, it's heel pain. I have a lot of pain in my heels and stuff. And it's usually there when I wake up first thing in the morning. So I've been putting that rubbing that stuff there on my heels or would it be heels or the back of my ankles? Whatever. From the heel up to the ankle in the back is where I've been rubbing it. And I also put it on my lower back because I tend to have lower back pain. So I've been rubbing it in those places and anywhere else where I feel like right now ain't nothing hurting. So, but I have been slacking on my squats. That was something I was proud of, that I was doing my squats. I did on Friday, but I ain't do none of. Well, it's usually when I work though that I have to rip and run back and forth to the bathroom, because that's how I try to get my exercise in every time. Because I have to take a diuretic for the CHF, which makes you pee 24/7. Feels like I get my exercise, but every time I go to the bathroom, I come back and try to do 25 squats, and that does put pressure. If you do it, you're really not supposed to feel the pressure on your knees if you're doing it right. But shoot, I ain't no professional. My knees hurt sometimes when I do it. So it is what it is. But I can definitely feel the difference. So before I forget, let me do my 5 pumps. All right. And I hadn't noticed any type of side effects or anything, from this. Like, I don't know what I would expect. Like maybe because it's a spray, I don't know if maybe I thought I was gonna have some dry mouth or sore throat, but I haven't experienced anything. So that was a good thing. Um, what else I got? How was y'all's weekend? I didn't really, outside of Saturday, that was the only time we really got out. My brother came by. Look, my brother came by last night. Y'all know he was here Thursday when I did my show, and he was my special guest, and we was cutting up. So he had gone to Atlanta this weekend to hang out with his girls. He has 2 girls. My nieces one will be 13 in June, and the other one is 18. And so he went to go spend some time with them this weekend. And when he got back, he called and he was like, "What you doing?" And I'm like, I'm sitting here working. Anyway, I was sitting here. So he was like, "I was gonna come through and have a drink with you or something." I was like, "Come on, I ain't going nowhere." So if somebody tell you that, don't you usually think they bringing a drink with them? This man shows up with one beer, one Corona, one Corona. So I had this brand new fifth of Patron that I had been holding on to. Hey, Shonda, I'm so glad to see you. That's my other bestie, y'all. That's my Birmingham bestie, Shonda McGee. Okay, so I had this brand new bottle. Y'all see how low that bottle is. I said, now this was a fifth. Fooling around with him, he shows up with one beer and drinks up my liquor. We done took about 5 shots apiece. And and then he leaves. So I'm like, okay, yeah, that's what I wanted. You to come over here and help me drink up my liquor. So that's how that went. But we had a good time. He was telling me about the weekend, and me and my brother, we always had a good relationship. We can cut up and laugh and talk um, about pretty much anything. Vanessa said she had a great weekend. She went to Nashville. You know what, Vanessa? I had thought about doing that for 92. You know, her birthday is coming up. She will be 13 on March 25th, which is not this coming Saturday, but the following Saturday. And we were trying to figure out what we're going to do. You know, at first, she said she wanted a party. I kind of waited too late to get everything together to do the type of party she wanted, because she wanted like a bigger party. So then her dad had called and said something about meeting up in Orlando with him and her brother. But when he said something about it, you know, it was like less than a month. And whenever you booking flights, you know, the closer you wait to the date, the more the tickets are. And I had to buy 2 tickets, so you know they were gonna be driving because they're coming from Miami to Orlando, but I'm not gonna drive from here, so I would have had to get 2 flights. And I'm just like, we waited. It was too close for me to book it. You know, I'm like, let's do that another time. So now I'm asking her what does she want to do. So me and my friends were talking. We were thinking maybe drive over to Nashville for a day trip just to hang out because there's a lot to do over there. And she's been in Nashville a couple of times, but usually when we've gone, we're going to visit like friends. So we didn't do any of the like um my friend Stephanie used to live in Nashville, and we would go down to the river and do the river walk and all that type of stuff. So she hasn't done anything like that. So we might consider doing that. But y'all got any suggestions? 13. She turned 13. What we can do. I told her she can invite, you know, her friends. She has one best friend. Um and you know, a couple of other ones that haven't come over, but they're like friends sort of at school. So, you know, if she wants to invite them over. Last year what we did was um me and my parents and my brothers surprised her. And when she got home from school, we gave her a surprise party here. And she was totally not expecting it. So that was real nice. We had decorated, and then they went to one of those places like Dave and Buster's. What was it called, Cooper? Yeah, it's called the main event. We went to the main event, and they had a lot of games, you know, games. There's bowling alley in there, um, all kind of stuff for them to do. So her and two of our friends, well, the one friend was with us, and another friend met her over there, and they had a good time. So it was a good 12th birthday. But this 13, we crossing into teenagehood, and y'all know how I feel about that. I already said I'm in my feelings, but time is a passing. Hey, Candy. Candy said, hey, Melissa and chatters at work, but support. Thank you, Candy. Um, yeah, you doing what I need to be doing. I got to get on this work today. I prefer to take days off during spring break, but like I said, I did not know it was this week. So when I went and looked at the work calendar, people have already took off, and it's not so much that if one person is off, you can't take off, but I'm talking about pretty much everybody had took off, and plus I'm not in a place with the way my job goes, everything is date driven. So if I know I want to be off this week, I would have needed to work and get caught up to where my deadlines would be passed that week before I take off. So I didn't do that. So I will be working. So we'll, even though it's spring break, we'll fit in some stuff. I told her, go get online and find something that we can do, something different we can do, that we can, like if I knock off early or start late, so that she still gets to do something for spring break. Vanessa said, if you can stay at Gaylord. So is Gaylord, that's like, is that like Grand Ole Opry, like Opryland? Because I remember hearing something about Gaylord Opryland or something like that. We was kids. That was the only place. That was the only place my dad took us as far as like family trip. We didn't go to Six Flags because he didn't care for driving to Atlanta. But Nashville, from where we are, we're on an hour from Tennessee state line. So add on another hour of change, and in 2.5 hours you can be in Nashville. So Nashville used to have something similar to Six Flags as far as the rides and stuff. Um, it was Opryland, and we would go. And I ain't never been a big ride. I don't know why I was so excited. I don't even like riding rides, but I guess it was just because we were getting out of the house. Shonda says, "Yeah, I have to support when I can. You're a natural talking." And oh, thank you, Shonda. If I can't do nothing else, I can run my mouth. So, you know, I just pretend I'm talking to you because me and Shonda, this is no lie. I could call her right now. It's 1:17. We can talk to 7:17 at night, and just like that, won't even realize how much time flew by because we skip from one topic to the next topic. And that to me is the sign when you have good friends. Because I think the last time I spoke to her on the phone was that weekend when we found out Ricky Smiley's son had passed away. So that was like maybe last month sometime. And I think I called her that day around 2 o'clock. By the time we got off the phone, it was dark. Because, we that's how I am with my close friends and stuff. Next thing you know, it's something else. But yeah, I don't know why I was excited about going to Opryland. Only rides I liked were bumper cars, um, the carousel with the horses and stuff, and I would do like it got to be like a little baby roller coaster. I can't do no no zipping and upside down and loops and stuff. And even with that stuff, because does Alabama still, Vanessa, do they still have Vanessa and Shonda? Do they still have that theme park in Bessemer? It used to be called, what was it called at first? In Alabama, we had something like a theme park. Um, Shoot, I can't think of what it was called. But do they have that? Still have that? Because honey, we went there one time, and it was I think Stephanie and Tanisha went, and me and Shonda, we went on a Sunday, and I got on one roller coaster. It wasn't even no bad roller coaster. Honey, I was Visionland. Yeah, it was Visionland, but now it's called Alabama Adventure. Okay, honey, when it was still Visionland, we went over there, and I acted a fool on that darn roller coaster. Something about, I don't know what it is. When it starts going down, I had this urge to stand up, and that is not what you want to do in a roller coaster. By the time we got off that thing, I was done. I ain't made for all of that. And some people like all of that zipping and zoom. I can't do it. I'm not a ride person. Give me them safe rides. I do a water ride, but I ain't built for all that shock and snatch your here and pull you there and throw your head back. I can't do it. That's too much for me. And then I don't like theme parks because there's just so many people there and it's always hot and you gotta do all this walking. Now when Naya was 4, we went to Orlando for her to go to Disney World. And it just so happened I had been under the weather. I had been in the hospital a couple of days before we left. So when we met up with her godmom and her daughters, they actually took her to the park, and I was glad because I wasn't looking forward to going to Disney World. Um, I went to Disney World when I was in the 10th grade with the band. It was a band field trip. I wasn't impressed then. And I said then, I ain't never got to go back. So when we took her, she went, and I'm going to be honest, she had more fun in the airport riding on the, not the escalator, but the moving sidewalk. She had more fun with that than she had at Disney World. I was like, shit, I could just brought you to the airport. If this all you was gonna do, this what you was gonna enjoy. And of course, because she was 4, she don't remember any of it. And she told me she want to go back. I'm like, man, think your dad will take us. I guess that's why he want to do the Orlando trip, because when we do go to Orlando and meet them, I don't want to go no hot ass Disney World. I'm gonna let them have it, and I'm gonna stay back and chill out, because it be too many people. I can't deal with all the people, and it's hot, and you're standing in line and sweating, and everything costs an arm and a leg $5 for a cup of water. I don't want to do all that. Shonda said Vigilant, and yes, I remember you prayed the whole time. Yeah, yeah. I was like, oh Lord, help me, Lord Jesus, Lord, help me, Lord Jesus, please, Lord, don't let me fall this thing, Lord. I was the whole time. That's how I was. Shonda was like, I couldn't even be scared for laughing at you. But like I said, I'm a big girl. So when people, even when they lock me down and stuff, I still don't be feeling like they being checked it enough, and it be, I'm like, what if I fall out this thing? Or what if it pop? I'm always thinking of worse. So anyway, but yeah, I wasn't impressed with Disney World. Now maybe some of the other places, I hear people talk about Universal Studios and all that, but I'm just, I don't get excited about stuff like that. When I go on vacation, my idea of a vacation is go somewhere, stay on a resort or something, wake up when you want to, go to the pool when you want to, eat when you want to, drink when you want to, until it's time to go home. That's what I like to do on vacation. I met my husband when I went to ex-husband when I went to Jamaica. Um, some people know this story, some people don't. But like when I was, how old was we? I think that was the year I was turning 30. It was 2004. So I was online. You know, they're always having contests and stuff, and I'm the type. If I go online and I see any type of contest, I don't care what they give away. I fill it out and apply for it, because you never know. So that same day, I had filled out a thing for on the local radio station. What was it? I can't even think of the station now. 98.7. So they were giving out tickets to go see. This was when Barbershop 2 was coming out. So I was trying to win tickets to go see Barbershop 2. So I filled that out. And then I saw they had this thing where you could sign up to win this jazz festival weekend in Jamaica. Da, da, da. So yeah, I signed up for that too. So later that day, this was like on a Friday. It was in January. And they called and they were like, this is the radio station. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. So they said, you're on the air. You're our grand prize winner. So I'm like, oh, okay. They was like, you know what you want? I said, yeah, I'm going to see Barbershop. And they were like, no, you're going to Jamaica. And I'm like, what? I couldn't believe it. I had never won anything. Even though I filled out all that stuff, I had never won nothing. So they tell me this, and I'm like, are y'all for real? And they say, yeah, we're serious. Like, will you be able to go? Because that was the next thing. The festival was going to be, I think I had a week or 2 weeks to prepare for this trip. And the thing was, I had already scheduled to be off that following week, because I was going to New York for the first time, because one of my besties, her uncle was getting married, and I took off to go to New York. So because I had already requested that time off, I was like, oh, I don't know if my boss gonna give me them 2 weeks off in a row. But I'm like, if I had to cancel the New York trip, because I'm going to Jamaica. I ain't never been out the country. So so I went and talked to my boss, and I was like, look, I just won this trip, and I know I already requested them other days off, but I'm going on this trip. And he was like, well, if you don't go, I will. I was like, oh, I'm just excited. So then I'm like, who am I get to go with me? So, you would think it would be a line of people that could go. But like I said, this was last minute. We were leaving, I want to say 2 weeks, in the next 2 weeks. People couldn't take off like that, because I asked 2 or 3 different people. And then I thought about, well, maybe I should take a man with me. Back then I'm single, whatever. And then I remember the advice of one of my friends that worked with me said, she was like, girl, why would you take Sad to the beach? And I was like, you're right. It's a girlfriend's trip. You ain't no need to take you don't take no man on a trip like this. So that made all the sense in the world to me. So I reached out, and my buddy on here now, Tanisha, she what she did that she was able to get off, she told her boss she wanted the trip. So her boss was like my boss and was like, okay, go on and go. So she was able to go with me. So me and Tanisha, the two countries people in the world, she from Sparta, Georgia, I'm from Clinton, Alabama. They didn't put us on a plane with a free trip to Jamaica. And we cut up the whole time. Okay. So like even when we were getting ready to go on the trip, like I'm a last minute person. I waited to the last minute to do everything. So I left Birmingham because we're flying out of Atlanta, and that's like a 2-hour drive. So I left Birmingham late. On the way to Birmingham, got a flat. I was like, I know this is not happening. It was after midnight, everything was closed. I had AAA, called AAA. They came to fix the flat or put the spare on. They pulled off. The spare went flat. I drove about 2 miles and then I was flat again. So, I'm like, this is not happening. So I had to call them again. They took my car and they took me to a gas station. I wasn't even crossing. It was almost to the Georgia line, but we were like, a couple of miles from the Georgia state line. And I'm trying to remember. I left my car there, but how did I get to Atlanta? Tanisha, you remember? How did I get to Atlanta? I don't know if she came and got me or if I called my brother, because at this point, my brother, Reggie, was living in Atlanta. Maybe he came and got me. Somebody came and got me and took me to Atlanta. Then I had to turn around and go back, and we were leaving that next day at like, I want to say 1 or 2 o'clock. So we got up the next morning, drove to go. They drove me down. I still don't remember whether it was Tanisha or my brother, but whoever drove me down to pick up the car. I got the tire, got a new tire. We drove back, and we made it in time to catch the flight. And honey, we caught the flight. We got over there, got off. Soon as we got off at the airport in Jamaica, we just started cutting up. So I said, no, no. They like, come and me and one go home. We over there singing and acting a fool. I know they was like, you could tell these Negroes ain't never left Alabama or wherever they from. Because we was over there clowning. But we had a good time. And then me being me, because I believe sometimes stuff be too good to be true. I just kept asking, they said it was all inclusive and everything was paid for. But while we was at the resort, I kept asking, this free, right? Y'all not going to charge me for this, right? Because I kept thinking, when I get ready to leave here, because I think we got there on Wednesday, and we didn't leave back out going home until Sunday, I think. And I was just picturing us getting ready to go home, and them stopping me and telling me I have a bill of like $2,000. But it really did turn out to be free. So I was like, I can't believe it. I just kept waiting on them to tell us, we was gonna have a bill, because even when we was going to eat and ordering drinks and stuff, I was still like, look, let's not do too much, because if they hit me with a bill, we get ready to go. I ain't got no money, not enough for us to be stuck in Jamaica. But it was perfect. Like the weather was perfect. If you want to go over to the islands, going in the wintertime is the best, because the temperature was perfect and everything. We got free tickets for the jazz festival that weekend, and it was featuring like Alicia Keys, Kenny Rogers. Who else was there? It was a lot of celebrities that were there. And so it was a 3-day event. And, you just caught the shuttle every night. Only thing I didn't care for about the concert is it was one of those events where you bring your own chairs and stuff on your own blanket. There's no assigned seating. I like my events to be organized where I sit in this seat, so if somebody is in my way or if somebody's in my seat, you can move. With that type of thing, you just kind of trying to get in where you fit in, and people all over you. But hell, it was free, so we went made best of. But shoot, uh, we had us a good time for free over in Jamaica. And then yeah, like I said, while I was there, I met my ex husband. He was there working at the resort that we were staying at the time, and the rest of that is history. I met that was in 2004. He moved here in 2006, and we got married in 2008, nine, something like that. But anyway, story for another day. But yeah, we had us a good time. But I just couldn't believe it was all free, but it was actually free. And I ain't won nothing else since. I have won a single contest that I can think of since, as far as like getting a free trip. And I still do the same thing. When I go online, I apply for all of them. If you tell me I'm a winner, I'm gone. But the only thing about it, okay, like I said, I had planned to go to New York for the first time the next week. After going to Jamaica for a week, we come back the next week in January, and I fly up to New York. Snow all over the ground. It was cold. It was like it dimmed the light on that trip because I mean it wasn't no comparison to going to the islands. So I think I kind of, if I had gone to New York um prior to going there, I probably would have been more excited about New York. But you know, when I got to, like I said, it was snow all over the ground. And that's the thing. I still need to. My daughter wants to visit, and I told her, I said, well, I done been a couple of times because both times I went. The first time I went was for their wedding. The second time was for a job assignment because I used to do traveling. I was a travel consultant, and they sent me to work at a facility. Oh Lord, I gotta wrap this up, y'all. My battery low. They sent me to work at a facility in Poughkeepsie, New York. And okay, Shonda, thanks for jumping in. I enjoyed the chat. Check you later. Okay, so anyway, I'm gonna end this story real quick. They sent me to Poughkeepsie, New York in January. It was a snowstorm, you know. So I was supposed to stay there and work till Friday, go home. We didn't check out the hotel on Friday, thinking we finna go home. Airport shut down. We had to get another hotel, stay another night to leave the next day, which we did not get paid for. Because even though it wasn't our fault, we had to stay another night. They didn't pay us for that. By the time I got back to South Carolina, I was so glad to be home. I was like, I don't never want to go back to New York. So what I've decided is I need to go to New York in the spring or the summer because I do not want to go back in the winter because both experiences were a mess. So that'll be for another day. But anyway, thank y'all for joining me. I made it to almost 50 minutes, but yeah, my phone said I'm down to 15%, so I need to charge it. Thanks for joining the conversation, Shonda, Vanessa, Candy, Tanisha. I appreciate y'all. This is week 3, day 1. Hopefully I'll be back tomorrow. I didn't come back Friday because I went live twice Thursday. The Thursday morning I did with my brother, and then me and Tony went live Thursday night. So I was like, I'm not gonna do Friday because I already had got my time in on Thursday. So still trying to be consistent, building up this watch time. So y'all please like the video, share. And if you're catching on the replay, thanks for watching. And I will see y'all tomorrow.